계획을 세우셨나요? Now, obviously, the point here is 어떤 계획을 세우셨나요? I hope you remember. What are your 계획은 뭐죠? Plans. What are your plans? 졸업 후. 졸업 is graduation. 후, after. Just put that together. What are your plans after graduation? Now, most of the times when you say or ask somebody something like this, it's usually to somebody that's graduating from college or university because, you never know what they're going to pick up on. So, one more time. 졸업 후에는 어떤 계획을 세우셨나요? What are your plans after graduation? And of course, you can utilize this in a completely different context, like we did just 1 second ago. Alright, so the second example says, 여름에는 어떤 계획을 세우셨나요? 어떤 계획을 세우셨나요? What are your plans? What are your plans? 여름에는 summer. So how would you form this sentence? What are your plans for the summer? For the summer. Now you're referring to a specific summer, right? Like you could say 이번 여름, this summer, next 여름, blah blah blah. But that's not the point. You're referring to specific summer here, so you need the summer. So one more time. 여름에는 어떤 계획을 세우셨나요? What are your plans for the summer? One more time, repeat after me. What are your plans for the summer? And of course, you can utilize this in another context. Let's take a look at our third example. 새해에는 어떤 계획을 세우셨나요? 어떤 계획을 세우셨나요? What are your plans? 새해, the new year, right? The new year. And that's all you need. What are your plans for the new year? 새해에는 어떤 계획을 세우셨나요? What are your plans for the new year? Repeat after me one last time. What are your plans for the new year? Okay, and we are officially ready to rumble and move on to Twitter writing 140. Let's go. Now this is where we take a closer look at your tweets and think of various, numerous, countless numbers of ways to express your thoughts. And of course, I really appreciate this corner because I get to look at what you've come up with. Something that I can't do, right? It comes from your experience and your story. Alright, so let's take a look at
계획이 없던 미용실 데이트. 염색하고 머리를 자르니 한층 밝아 보인다.
계획만 전교 1등. 아, 이제 자야지.
네, 캐나다입니다. 11월쯤에 한국으로 놀러 가려고 계획 중입니다.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. I love these sentences. So let's just go ahead right on in and see how you would construct these sentences. 계획에 없던 미용실 데이트. 염색하고 머리를 자르니 한층 밝아 보인다. We all love haircuts, right? And this is what you've said. No plans for hairdresser date, hair dye, and haircuts. I look brighter. I would like to applaud you for saying no plans. That's great. But you have to say from your perspective, who's the one that has no plans or who had no plans? I had no plans. It was you, right? I had no plans. Of course, this would be lowercase, so I had no plans for hairdresser date. Now, this looks like you're saying you're going on a date with the hairdresser, you have a date with the dresser. It's very vague. So instead, you could say to visit the hairdresser and take out the date completely. Okay, and so the period ends here. I had no plans to visit the hairdresser, but you got a hair dye and a haircut and you look brighter. Now, hair dye here you want to utilize is not spelled like this, but rather with the Y-E, hair dye. This D-I-E means literally 머리 죽음. So you want to say hair dye with the Y. But in this context, it's a little bit difficult to construct a sentence the way you have it. So I would start out with an I. So here, I'm going to start out here. I look more vibrant. Now, I know brighter is the literal translation, but vibrant is more appropriate considering you're talking about your hair, not your personality. So, I look more vibrant now with, what do you have? You have a new hairdo, right? So I'm going to continue on up right on here. I'm sorry for running out of space. I look more vibrant now with my hair dyed. You got it done, right? Hair dyed. And you had it cut as well. So in this context, so you know that hair is being dyed and it's being cut. So you understand that why I would need to take this entire sentence out. So altogether it says, I had no plans to visit the hairdresser. I look more vibrant now with my hair dyed and cut. Obviously, I have my recommendation as well. And let's take a look at the Korean sentence one more time. 계획에 없던 미용실 데이트, 염색하고 머리를 자르니 한층 밝아 보인다. Here's my recommendation. I made a spur-of-the-moment decision to visit the hair salon. Now, spur-of-the-moment decision, what can this mean? 계획에 없던 뭔가 기분에 따라 갑작스럽게 정한 그런 decision을 보고 spur-of-the-moment decision. So you can utilize that in many other circumstances too. I made a spur-of-the-moment decision to visit the hair salon. And of course, the second